you guys? How you doing today? Y'all, we got some good tea tonight. It looks like everything that was done in the dark is coming to light. Baby, we found the agency that allegedly, okay? Well, actually, listen, I have, based upon information and belief, we have the agency that my source is saying is the freak off staffing agency that Sean Diddy Combs used. But baby, we had to do a little research. Thank you to my source for getting me a lawsuit, the court documents of a lawsuit that was buried for years. That if you read the lawsuit, actually literally chronicled one of Diddy's freak offs, and it was hiding in plain sight. And thanks to that document, I did a little research, and baby, we found the actual agency. So I got her to put it on the Summer Jam screen, baby, because why not? Let's not clown it. Let's get into this, y'all. Oh, y'all ready for this? Deanne Harris, thank you so much for becoming a new member. Thank you so much, Deanne Harris. Y'all, let's get into this because, baby, when I read this, I was shocked. I was appalled. But mostly I was like, yo, how did we not notice all this mess was underneath our nose the whole time, okay? Now, before I start this special podcast, let me just say, when it is my speculation, it's my speculation. When I'm on my Nancy Drew stuff, y'all know I'm like, yo, we researching, get in here. But when I have a source that actually brings me competent information, brings me legal documents, and baby, brings me some certified tea, I'm going to run back and tell everything I know. Now, time for the disclaimer. The contents of this podcast are alleged. Sean Diddy Combs does maintain his innocence. As a matter of fact, he says he is fighting for his country, his feelings, his ideals, and everything else that he lives and dies for, should it be known. Let's also say that he maintains his innocence throughout. However, what you're about to hear is based upon information and belief. Some items are alleged until they are proven in a court of law. All right, we got all that. Now, that's what Sean Diddy Combs is saying. Let's get to what the streets are saying, baby. Hold on, y'all. Let's get to what... Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Anyway, y'all. Oh, every time I'm on live, people be texting me crazy mess. Hold on. Y'all. Hold on. Are they telling me who I can talk about and who I cannot? 1 second, media. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. I just had to confirm a few things. When I go on live, people be telling me, shut up, don't say names, this and that. And then people go on, get in my comments to make sure, and my messages to make sure. But you know what? Let me clear my mind. The people and names shall remain innocent. Okay, so let me take you on this journey of how we found it before I put it on the Summer Jam screen. And I was crazy because there was even a button that you could do to be like, yo, interested in this experiment and in this experience for the agency. And a part of me wanted to put, yeah, I'll do it, right? Not actually do it, but you know me. I would literally... If you're new to my channel, my name is Tisa and I am crazy. But for those of y'all been coming back, y'all know, to get y'all the truth, I would really put in for an escort and walk in that piece with a microphone like, hi, have you ever heard of Sean Diddy Combs? Literally, I'm sorry, could you speak into the microphone? And I literally was about to request the experience. And then I was like, no, because if my man sees this, it just ain't no way. Ain't no way I could explain it. Ain't no way I could be like, no, it was research. I wasn't planning to. It was all research. I just needed the goods. Ain't no way he would believe me. Ain't no way. Like literally, it just ain't no way, right? So listen, y'all, I did not request, I did not try to further incline because I was like, I don't need those problems even in my inbox or in my mail. Next thing I know, I'm gonna be put on a summer jam scream on YouTube talking about Tisa Tells like smell escorts. So y'all know I had to do what needed to be done, right? Can be like, what is research? I don't know which one it is. I have to do research. I don't know, right? I'll be coming home with a fresh white set. He'd be like, right? Okay, so let's get into this. Let me let you guys know what actually took me on this journey about what's going on and these court documents. Y'all ready? Let's put some stuff up on the Summer Jam screen. And just to let you know, this is the agency that Diddy used, or I'm sorry, had Cassie using. Okay. This is the agency that was referred to in the court docs and Cassie's filings. This is her number one agency when they were in New York City when she was forced to. Okay. Based upon information and belief. Okay, so let me tell y'all what led me to this in the first place, because there's some interesting information that I think a lot of people skipped over. Okay, remember how there was a chef, okay? Diddy had a private chef, which, by the way, Diddy was underpaying because apparently Diddy underpaid everybody. But I get it at this point. He was such a celebrity. If you worked for him, it was going to be like exposure. Remember when people thought exposure was worth money until you're like, I don't want to hear nothing about exposure. If you don't pay me, we going to have some problems. Okay. Well, so this was a lawsuit between Cindy Ruda, right? I'm sorry. I'm reading her attorney's late. So this was an attorney. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I keep getting text myself. What's up, Jamie? So anyway, this was how can I get around saying the name? Okay. So this was Diddy's chef at the time. Her name was Cindy. As you guys can see, she sued everybody. She actually was the original Cassie, but again, I don't want to disrespect Cassie or her because at the end of the day, she never participated, but Diddy was trying to break her down. She actually filed suit against Diddy. I think some of you guys actually heard it. The thing is, it was so hard to find the actual legal filing because this was settled. It was incredibly hard to find the legal filing because this was buried. However, your girl came through and I found the actual legal documents. This was the first on my research to actually take me down the road to find the name of the agency. Why? Because when I knocked on a few doors and did some investigations and I got sent these documents, thank you so much to my source for sending the documents, I was able to make the connections because I had the name of the agency. I had it on upon information and belief. I talked to a few people that were just like, yo, this is what is actually listed in legal paperwork. Okay, fine. But I needed other connections because they were talking about a time, two people, where the escorts were there, but also there was a bunch of stuff going on. They said Diddy had employees serving them. Diddy had employees doing this. Diddy had employees doing that. And they even mentioned that the employees would cook them food and bring them food because, like Cassie said, the freak offs didn't just last for an hour or two. Sometimes they lasted days, right? Sometimes they lasted days. And there would be an employee or employees that would either serve food. They didn't know if they were making food. However, they were coming in and out of the kitchen. Let me read you some of Cindy's lawsuit. And when I read you some of Cindy's lawsuit, first of all, she is describing having to work in the middle of a freak off. Again, the paperwork was buried because it was settled. And usually when it's settled, they bury the paperwork. The settlement is not talked about, all this other stuff. Okay. But in the actual legal documents, I'm going to read what she actually sued him for in 2017. It's wild that this didn't make any of the papers, any of the things. And whenever it was ever talked about, even whispered about, they skipped over all the parts that now we know them to be what are called freak offs. It's really wild. But this is the link that actually lines up to what my sources were saying these male workers from this agency was doing. Let me read you Cindy's complaint, and then I'm going to put on the Summer Jam screen the actual agency. Y'all ready for this? Let's get it, right? Let's listen. Somebody said days. Female Noah said days. That's too much trucking for me. I could see if it was just one, but it was many and big ones at that. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Listen, Cassie said, right? And I don't mean to make this light of Cassie's situation, but baby, we are not having a prayer circle and crying at like what time of night. So when I'm flipping, y'all feel what I'm saying, right? But Cassie said that Diddy kept her roped up and doped up. That might have been one of the reasons. They might have had some Vicks Vapor Rub. You know that fixes everything in the corner or whatever. But this would also explain, no joke, why Cassie said that in a lot of the sessions, immediately after she would throw up, and then she would also throw up from anxiety. Because when you think about it, it wasn't on any type of pretty woman, lovey-dovey, baby. It was damn face up. That's the way we like it literally was like on some like smut film. Like it was like just think about that. Just think about that. And the fact that people are just like, oh, well, she knew what nobody signs up for that type of stuff. Nobody. The fact that he had Cassie's mind so twisted that she was down with that mess. And again, if you see, I posted a video, go watch it if you haven't seen it, that they were saying this was allegedly, Cassie, the freak offs in the beginning, this and that. You see how uncomfortable she is. You see how she's disgusted by him. She seems like she don't even like Diddy. It's just crazy, right? You know, it's crazy. My heart does go out to Cassie because when you read that complaint, if you haven't seen the complaint, I did like read the full 35 pages. The things she had to endure, the things he put her through. And the thing is, he was obsessed with Cassie. And that's what you have to remember. As bad as things were from Cassie and baby, they were bad. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. There were women and men that claim they had it even worse because as bad as Cassie had it, he still saw some value in Cassie. He still wanted to um keep Cassie around, He still wanted to have, he thought he was treating Cassie. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, Cassie, he was a monster that devoured like the village, but Cassie was like the villager that he kept in like a cage, and that was his favorite pet. He really was a real life version of Beauty and the Beast, but he was the beast, and it was like the real life version. So didn't nobody come? The candle makers weren't trying to save her. The candlesticks in the broom weren't trying to stage a coup and teaching her how to make like Beast into like a person, right? If anybody hasn't seen Beauty and the Beast, you should watch it. It is very toxic, but it is a timeless tale, and got some bangers in there, but it is a very toxic tale, right? I often do say, before I get into this, let me just go off on my tangent. I really feel like, honestly, Disney is the number one thing that I think encouraged a whole generation or two or three or five or six or 10, however long Disney been out, to accept toxic, abusive behavior. He like is a monster that kidnapped you and almost bites your head off. But you know what? He loves you, girl. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, people would accept like the bare minimum and most abusive behavior as long as there was love behind it. Because if you as a woman could just push back the gruff exterior, there'd be a guy with a heart of gold. Instead of just going and finding somebody with a heart of gold in the first place. Y'all know what I'm saying? Anyway, um, uh, so anyway, uh, let me get into this. Okay, so this lawsuit was always out there and nobody could find the paperwork. In the paperwork, she describes a freak off. But I want to read a few passages from this lawsuit for you guys to listen with it. And then we're going to talk about the agency and what we know. Okay. So in the lawsuit, it goes so far as to say that some of the names, let me get into this. The true names and capacities, whether individual, corporate, or associate, or otherwise, of the defendants named herein as those 1 through 100, okay, inclusive are, listen, are unknown to plaintiffs who therefore sue said defendants by such fictitious names pursuant to California Civil Code of Procedure. Now, the thing is, when you hear that, you're just like, what are you talking about? But she literally outlines a bunch of, for lack of a better word, freak offs that she was forced to work through. And there were so many people coming through, 1 through 100, that she had to refer to them as does, right? Not John Doe, not Jane Doe, but does, implying that there were men and women present. Okay. The plaintiff will amend the complaint to show their true names and capacities when the same have been ascertained. Plaintiff is informed and believes, and based upon such information and belief, alleges that all defendants sued herein as those are in some manner responsible for the acts herein alleged, and the plaintiff's damages are approximately caused. Now, by the way, she was suing Diddy and all his companies, as well as the people that were at the freak off that had some capacity. There is a few prominent producers I've heard that are at the freak off. I'll reveal the names probably tomorrow when I do a recap. You guys, if you don't know, if you can't hang here in here for the live for now, I'm going to start doing recaps of my lives for the next morning for y'all that don't have time to listen to me babble, because this is going to be a long live. Okay. Anyway, to get back to it, let's just get to the good stuff. Can we skip to the good part? Ooh, hold on. Let me catch my PowerPoint presentation up. Okay, so they said the plaintiff began working as a chef for the benefit of Diddy at the home of Diddy, right, in Los Angeles. During this time, she worked on the weekends from 9 a.m. to midnight and 2 a.m., whatever. The point of the matter is, I'll skip past this. This girl was working overtime and everything, and Diddy was only paying her $150 a day. Do you know how cheap that is for a private chef to make a day? $150. Diddy just don't pay anyone, right? In the middle of May 2015, the chef was she was asked to work as a chef 6 days per week from 9 to 5. Blah, blah. We'll skip past that. He was overworking her, right? Anyway, let's skip to the good part. She had to go on vacation with Diddy and serve him on vacation, but he didn't want to pay her. He felt like she should just be happy. But okay, fine. Y'all don't care about that. Okay, here we go. On no less than one occasion, when the chef was summoned, Diddy would request that she serve him a postcoital meal. As she entered the room, Diddy was naked and made comments about his body to the plaintiff, and ultimately asked the visibly uncomfortable woman, right, Cindy, if she was attracted to or liked this naked body. Now, here's the thing. I don't care what y'all say about Diddy. Diddy never was attractive to me. Again, when I just didn't like his demeanor, right? But can we always say that Diddy's had a dad bod since before he was a father? Can you imagine that lanky mofo laid out, acting like it's the fall of the Roman Empire? Probably like with leaves on his head, eating figs or whatever they ate, talking about, yeah, you like that? You like what you see? You like, and you just trying to pass some pigs in a blanket because that's all you can afford because he only paying you $150 a week, right? Just yucky, right? Just yucky. Anyway, right? Let's get back into this. So busy talking trash, I done lost the document. Hold on. So anyway, so that was going on. So Diddy was like, yeah, you like it, you like it. Now she details that's what most of the mainstream media actually reports. But there's something else that was completely skipped over that we need to talk about. Okay. This is paragraph 23. On other occasions, when Cindy was in the kitchen preparing a meal, a male house guest of Diddy approached her butt naked to ask her to look at and admire his genitalia after he had just finished engaging in blinkual activity with another house guest. Plaintiff was mortified and complained to Stacy Friend. If you don't know, I believe Stacy Friend was the house manager or something for Diddy. Now, mind you, did I mention that sources say that when he was naked, when he was post-coital, when he was post everything, did I mention that there were nothing but men around? Allegedly, there was nothing but men around. So, again, the fact that newspapers did not pick this up, this isn't the actual lawsuit. And this might have been one of the reasons why she won against Diddy. So she's in the house, right? Diddy's sitting there acting like he is, oh Caesar, hell Caesar, pizza, pizza, right? Asking, you like this, you like this. She passes the pigs in a blanket, probably threw that tray at them. Ran into the kitchen. Tell me, I have to prepare the next meal. The next meal was probably a cup of water with ice cubes, but she ain't want to go back out into that jungle. So she was just taking her time. What's taking so long? Nothing, just looking for the great Kool-Aid. I think we're out of sugar. I might have to go to the store. Diddy was probably like, girl, just Instacart it. Come on back in there. And she's like, no. I'm going to go to the store and get sugar. So a man comes wandering in. Now, I do not know if that man was inebriated, but Cassie said on all the freakouts, right? Cassie said on all the freak-offs, there were copious amounts of illicit substances, alcohol. It was like, what you want, right? So the guy comes wandering in, and I do believe he was probably zoning or zooming, because who the heck would just walk into a kitchen butt naked, right? After you just got done engaged in blank activity with another house guest. And I assume she knew that because there was evidence on the male body, or maybe there was an aroma in the air, but something tipped her off that he had just finished, doo-doo brown, right? He had just finished getting it in, right? The plaintiff was mortified and she complained to her direct manager, who I believe was in charge of, it's listed in the lawsuit, but I think she was like Diddy's house manager. Somehow she wasn't, his assistant, but she was like adjacent to the assistant, pretty high up. Okay. She made multiple complaints to Stacy about these and other instances where where she was exposed to activity and approach with conversations of sexual nature. Now, get this. This is the dirty part. This is how they tried to get her out of here. See, here's the thing. Cindy was actually a very, very beautiful woman. If you see pictures of her, she's very beautiful. I think Diddy was trying to see if he could seduce her. Or he thought that like she would be so seduced by like being his cook. Imagine that, making $150 a day, that she would engage in the blank offs for free. Because throughout the lawsuit, she keeps saying she kept getting tried. People kept doing that. There was no barriers or nothing. And imagine how powerful Diddy was at that time, that there are literally orgies like Sodom and Gomorrah going on, and you can't do anything about that. Okay. Now I'm about to get into the agency. If you can't hold on, just come back to tomorrow morning. There'll be a video about that. But get this, because this is the part I thought was crazy. She kept complaining. One, I'm not getting paid, because they kept gypping her on pay. And two, her complaints about the regular exposure to blank activity and harassing conversations. She was lured into a situation because to be accused of theft. Now, get this. They tried to set her up. It was known by the house personnel that Iris, the executive housekeeper, regularly salvaged items discarded by Diddy at his residence. In 2016, Iris approached Cindy with a watch right? And she said, this is what the housekeeper said, the head of housekeeping, girl, you want this watch? I found it in the garbage can. She asked it, do you want it since it's been thrown away? Cindy was like, yeah, girl, let me get that. And Iris told her to take it. And the days following, this is after this girl finally said, enough is enough. And she was like, they got me in the middle of these freak offs. They got me in the middle of this mess. I don't want this. People are now trying to pull me in, walking up to me while you still got juices hanging off you, walking up to me and trying to put me back in. And on top of that, y'all making me work overtime and you're not paying me. And you're only paying me $150 flat rate. I can't. And when we travel, he expects me to come with them. But y'all not even paying me for the days I travel because you're calling it a vacation because I'm tagging along. She was like, enough is enough, right? So she complained. So the housekeeper was like, yo, the head housekeeper was like, yo, girl, I just found like a, I'm going to laugh if that was an AP watch. She doesn't say what type of watch it was. I found this watch. You want it? So Cindy grabbed the watch. In the days following, Cindy was accused of theft and told she would not be prosecuted if she returned the watch and signed a waiver of all rights and claims against defendants as it relates to her employment with Diddy. How grimy is Diddy? How grimy is Diddy? Apparently, she's alleging that she was set up and framed. They gave her the watch. Then Diddy was like, yo, you stole a watch from me. And they were like, yo, we're going to call the police and prosecute you unless you sign this waiver. That's some dirty, grimy business, okay? Now, here's the thing. Cindy returned the watch, but lucky her, she refused to sign a waiver of rights and claims. And they ultimately terminated her on or around May 8th, 2016. Now, the sad part is when they terminated her, they literally, based upon information and belief, spread the rumor that Cindy was a thief, that Cindy had stolen from them, and that the reason she was fired is because she was a thief. Oddly enough, this mimics what happened to Capricorn Clark, Diddy's assistant, who they also said was a thief and also fired for stealing. Okay. So we got that, right? And that is very, very sad for Cindy. But because of when I looked into these people, right? Let me put the right thing up. Because when I looked into who, right? Who said the little brown owl could be at the party? Who was this agency? Who was all this stuff? Y'all, my source came through. They were able to find, and this is in paperwork, they were able to find who was the actual source of all this commotion. And where he was getting staff. Let me just put this up on the Summer Dance screen. Hold on. Let me send this to myself because this has been cut off. But y'all, it was in fact an escort agency. And it is an escort agency that has been used by the elite and powerful and rich in Los Angeles, in New York, in Denver, and definitely in South Florida. Are y'all ready for this? And the great reveal? Hold on, because y'all gonna laugh when y'all see this one. 1 second. I present to you Cowboys for Angels. They are an elite, and I have this based upon information and belief. Again, this has not been independently verified. It has not been confirmed in a court of law. Sean Diddy Combs does maintain his innocence in mistreating, any type of abuse, any this. He is going to clear his name. He has not spoken out specifically to deny claims that he actually frequented escort agencies. It seems like the bulk of his assertions is that he did not do anything unlawful or get violent. You guys, I present to you Cowboys for Angels. I present to you Cowboys for Angels. They are an elite, straight, emphasis on the straight, right? Even though when you hear what's going on, it seems like they want them to be straight. They like to break the buck, from what I hear. I'm just saying, they like to break the bucks, from what I hear. Anyway, right? This is an elite straight male companionship for the discerning woman. Hold on, y'all. Let me put one up here with my watermark. Y'all know people be loving stashing my stuff, and I love to give you guys like the real of what's going on. But at the end of the day, mama needs to throw her watermark up on there. So they are elite. Just to tell you a little bit about Cowboys and Angels, the owner actually has been written up in quite a few articles. His company has tried to be shut down plenty of times, but he has some really influential and really big friends. Again, Cowboys and Angels. Now, one second. If you guys don't know, they are nationwide. And I'm going to take you guys through how I actually almost ordered one. Not for myself. Not for myself. Okay. Just let's not get it twisted. But for research. Let me shut up before my boyfriend be like, I've had enough of you. Now, the funny thing about Cowboys and Angels is that when you Google them, they specialize specifically in discerning clients. They say they're only women. However, numerous reports say that they actually service couples. I do want to say this. Do y'all believe that there is actually a agency? And I want to ask y'all really quick before we get into the pictures, because I think we found the workers that actually work for Diddy. But do y'all believe in any way that there is an agency that services women, that there are women that are paying cold hard cash? And by cold hard cash, they actually have the price list. Interestingly enough, and I'll show it to you if I can find it. The price list says, where is it? The price list says that they charge certain amounts. One of the amounts is they charge 500 an hour. They charge this. Oh, here we go. There are rows of other male models and former athletes to choose from. They're talking about scrolling through Cowboys for Angels. One can rent them for $550 for 2 hours, $1,000 for 4, or $2,000 to stay the night. The owner of Darren's agency, that's the guy, Cowboys for Angels, interviews clients before a date to find a good match. He fixed me up with Darren, knowing that I'm a journalist, one without an expense account, but making me promise I'd treat the meeting less as an interview than an experience, a freebie, a gift. Now, why did I find this interesting? Because if you remember Cassie's lawsuit, I think it's paragraph 31, she actually talked about the fact that Diddy would pay them $2,000 cash or thousands of dollars cash. I found it interesting that the rate is $2,000 to spend the night. And Cassie actually mentioned a 2,000 number. Again, remember when I said I get data points? I literally do try to verify them, at least so that we can have something. So let's dive into the world of Cowboys and Angels, shall we? Hold on. Let's dive into the world of Cowboys and Angels. This is going to be good. So where are you at? Here we go. Okay. I just put my watermark on it. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the intermission, but I don't care if people use my stuff as long as they credit me. Okay. So here we go. This is Cowboys for Angels. If you see from Cowboys for Angels, this is when you go to the site, okay? Elite straight male escorts for women, New York, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa, Las Vegas, LA, Dallas, also. It doesn't matter. They do everything, including New York and LA. There's male escorts, the services they offer. Also, if anybody wants a job, they are always hiring, right? They are a male escort agency. They do gigolo services. Again, they do gigolo services, okay? They're the elite male companions for women. However, there are a million, I can't stress enough, there are a million articles that 100% say, um, uh, uh, 100% say that they welcome couple play too. Now, interestingly enough, the guy that actually ran this agency, before we get into it, it's a funny story, right? Because like every single thing with Diddy, it gets worse and worse. And when you go to Cowboys and Angels, again, this is based upon information and belief. This is the agency that Cassie was ordering from. You can meet our Cowboys American gigolos from Las Vegas, Los Angeles, South Florida, New York. Remember when they said that they basically had a catalog you can order from? When you click on any of these cities, they will let you know the Cowboys that are available to meet you. Every single city has different Cowboys. I guess they don't fly people in. Remember how every single time Cassie said she had new people? It's always rotating. Now, you know your girl had to scroll through, okay? This are some of the Cowboys. And I know what y'all saying. Where's the BBC? Well, we have Ray here. This is who's available in, I believe, the New York area. We got Ray here, right? We got, and you know, Puffy loves somebody waffle color. We got Jay, right? I saw what they did there. Ray and Jay, okay? Ray and Jay. But then we get into it's always changing. We see what they have in Connecticut. We see what they have in whatever. I kept looking around because I was like, yo, where is this dark meat that they speak of? All right. However, okay, when you actually go into another one of Diddy's favorite cities, that's where you see, hold on, I went by. That's where you get into, there we go. I keep missing them. Sean, that's where we get into, I swear to God, my computer keep embarrassing me. I feel like I need an assistant. There we go. That's where we get into Sean. Effing Sean. Now, I know there is a lot of white meat on this page, apparently, when they want thirds, right? However, you take what you can get. Cowboys and Angels are discreet. They are what they say they are, which brings us to Sean. Now, I'm not saying that Sean might have been a repeat player at Diddy's place. I am saying that Sean definitely meets the criteria for BBC. Listen, when some white fingernails look good wrapped around. Oh, you know what? I read this nasty blind item, right? Everybody says that, and this is what Cassie said too in her complaint, that Diddy liked white fingernails wrapped around because of the juxtaposition. But I read this blind item earlier today. I would have bought it on, but it was really disgusting. That one of the reasons that he liked white fingernails on all the girls he was dating is because he liked really raunchy, dirty, filthy stuff. And he liked the way that the white fingernails looked peeking out from under all that filth. Girl, listen, Sean. Now, if you're interested and if you want to do your own research, Sean is available. All you have to do is go request. But to be honest with you, there are flavors for everybody, even private people. Mr. X, right? Because I guess at least Mr. X got some sense not to put his face on the Summer Jam screen. Look at this mess. Justin, I don't know why. Because here's the thing. Everybody said that Puffy likes BBC, and I'm sure he does. But when you look at Diddy's dating history, whether or not you think that he's into men, if he is into everybody waffle colored and darker, actually no, because he dated Carmen Diaz for a while too. Why wouldn't y'all think that if he is into men, his delights for men wouldn't actually go like a little further? Y'all feel what I'm saying? Y'all feel what I'm saying? On top of that, there were rumors about Fonzworth Bentley. There was rumors about Zach Posen. There were rumors about Ron Burkle. It's going down with the Yerple. There's rumors about so many people. I don't know why. I feel like Justin might be Diddy's speed. There's also Grant. If you like a smooth, sophisticated gentleman, you know what I'm saying? $5.50 an hour. Y'all better save y'all pennies, rub them together. There's also Ellie, if you want like a little Prince of Persia action. My point of the matter is, whatever mood and flavor you are in, you literally, didn't they say she just scrolled through the catalog ordered what she wanted, and poof, that moves. Ba 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 ba. They actually appeared like a genie in the bottom. Again, their catalog is deep. Hold on. Sorry. Did I? Thought I saw somebody I knew. Anyway, yeah, sorry, y'all. I was like, hold on. I thought I saw somebody I knew. I was about to get on the group chat, like, girl, guess who is a male escort? Not that there's anything wrong, right? Not that there's anything. Listen, somebody said they done paid Tisa for an advertisement. Baby, if you baby, please. There is no shame in my game. If they paid me for an advertisement, I would be like, hold on now. We have a special thing for our sponsors, Cowboys and Angels. If you are interested in it, please, I would ever, please, if they paid like they weighed, like Rob Kardashian weighs, baby, you get this advert. What you talking about? They paid. I don't got to do any subliminal. I wouldn't be like, sometimes ladies, you need a little extra, you know? Ladies, come here. Can we have a conversation? Listen, y'all. But anyway, right? I literally was like, please, I thought I saw somebody I know. Anyway, let's get back into the mess. Look at this. This is Dwayne, right? I'm looking for anybody waffle colored or deeper, right? Because that seemed to be like where, but again, when you look at his dating history and when you look at Jonathan Adi, I believe him that Diddy ordered. So he has different flavors. He's in a different mood, you know? He's in different moods. Anyway, this website can get you anything you want in any city you want. They also have an Instagram with even more models on. Again, this site does not mince words. They serve the wealthy, they serve the elite. Interesting enough, the person that actually founded this site was a little bit of an interesting character, too. Do you know that he actually made the site? Let me actually just say, let me just get into more of what I'm saying. And then we're going to go into why this has been put in. Okay. The Las Vegas. Come on. Come on, PowerPoint. Catch up, catch up, catch up. Let's see. Remember when Justin Bieber went to a brothel story? It was all over. I do remember when JB went to a brothel. Oh my God. I guess, listen, Justin Bieber, that poor kid, before he turned racist. Then once I heard him like whatever. Anyway, tell me that they don't have Diddy flavor, Diddy spice over there. Again, this is based upon information and belief. That same, I don't want to even say dinner party, but that same chef that was serving people during what she didn't know at that time, but what Cassie would describe as a freak off, right? There were male workers from this site that can confirm this happened. On top of that, this site, when the court documents come out, if they don't redact, this is the site that Cassie was referring to when Diddy made her go through the catalog and order. Okay. Now, keep in mind, right? This guy that ordered it, he wanted it to be super, super easy and convenient. He said, "Do escorts sometimes have blank with clients?" Okay. They said that he assures the public that his stable of at that time 165 handsome, muscular men, most of them shown shirtless, are selling companionship, not blank. And it's completely legal. I know what you're saying. If this is the agency, how can you just advertise? But I'm sure you've seen on Instagram where you go and it's like photographer or it's this and that. And you see a bunch of girls tooted up and zooted up in skimpy lingerie and they all got the same look. And you see a guy posting topless. When you see IG feeds like that, especially if the photo shoots are over in Dubai or the Arab Emirates or just like New York or LA, when you see those photo shoots, 9 times out of 10, they are escort agencies. If you want some real high class escort. So there have been rumors for a long time, and I would tend to believe it. The Sports Illustrated magazine, definitely the Playboy magazine, and also the Ferrari calendar. You know that Ferrari calendar. that comes out every year, those are also rumored to be high class escort catalogs. That's why it was so prestigious. You remember the Playboy bunnies when they were the Playboy centerfold or the cover girl or the centerfold. You notice that when you talk to them all now, they all say the same thing, that being a centerfold was being like the prize. They were expected to sleep with when Hugh Hefner had them in that mansion, they were expected to sleep with the people, this and that. If anything, the Playboy magazine was nothing but a high class escort magazine. Same thing with the Victoria's Secret catalog. I mean, that they sold underwear too, but you get it. But the Victoria's Secret models, when they had their calendar, same thing with the Ferrari calendar. And same thing definitely with the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue that came out once a year. The rich and elite would look through and they'd be like, her, I want her. And they would reach out and they would make an offer. And when I say they would make an offer, I mean like these people would make offers, not like, oh, I'll give you 5, 10, 15, 20. No, baby, they were making offers. As a matter of fact, a lot of Hollywood starlets, I'm not saying all, but a lot have said that they often had very, very not rich, but wealthy men approach their managers and offer huge sums of money to fly over to Dubai, fly over here, fly over there, and just hang out, if you get what I'm saying, and just hang out. Let's also not forget, if you guys don't believe this is world of escorting works and it's this easy and people would be this dumb to do this, Kim Kardashian, actually, there was somebody called Joe Low. He was an Asian guy. Everybody thought he was like the former minister of Malaysia's prime minister of Malaysia's child. He wasn't, but he had deep money. It was from finance. He actually is currently on trial with Kamora Lee's husband because him and Kamora Lee's husband defrauded the sovereign Malaysian real estate fund. You know, that's the weird thing about Kamora Lee. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm going somewhere, right? That's the weird thing about Kamora Lee. I do feel for the fact that it seems like Diddy got aggressive with her. They never got along. Ow. They never got along. Diddy might be trying to Diddy might be trying to silence her and all that stuff. The only thing about that is actually so interesting is the fact that Kamora Lee keeps a weird energy man around her. Think about it. Russell Simmons, we know what he did. Think about her current husband, right? Even Mayor Adams in New York City, he's now indicted. They about to take him down. And you know, him and Kamora were spending a lot of time together. Now, baby, maybe they were just friends. I don't know. Because I don't know what's going on with Kamora and her husband, even though that's not really her husband, because this man, Tim, listener, that Russell Simmons said Kamora stole $800 million in stock from him to get defense attorney to pay for this man. He had 2 wives back home. So Kamora Lee isn't even really legally married to that man. But the point is, that man stole billions of dollars from Malaysia. So it's weird to me that when you see Kamora Lee and you see her living like a very lavish lifestyle, very billionaire wives lifestyle, it's based from her pretend husband, unbeknownst to her pretend husband literally robbing the poor of Malaysia and their sovereign real estate funds. It was supposed to develop the country just so Kamora could sit there on a yacht fronting about what she's doing in the middle of Atlantic. Again, that whole circle is like whatever. And again, I wish her well. I hope she stays safe, because if I was Diddy, I probably would have a grudge against her. But the fact that Kamora Lee surrounds herself with no good people, or maybe all those men are just no good and Kamora's just doing the best she can. But the fact that she flaunts her wealth even now, when we all know how your pretend husband robbed the poor of a sovereign nation in order so you could front on vacation on Christmas break on a yacht with all your friends, all your family and friends. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, right? Listen, not only did Kamora have to know what her hubby was doing, baby, before those court docs got sealed, I did videos about this. Go see it. Just put Kamora Lee in the search engine under my channel. You'll see. Before those court docs got sealed, okay, it was alleged that Kimora and Tim went over to Switzerland to go get some Swiss bank accounts. And Kimora had a passport that matched one of Tim's actual wives, right? I don't know if it was the first or the second. The first is the only wife, but matched her name. And they flew over to Switzerland so they could drain and move money out of a Swiss bank account that Tim and the other wife's name was on. And again, how did y'all get the passports? How did y'all do this? So I think 100% Kimora knew what her husband was up to. Now, did she know that he defrauded a whole sovereign nation? I don't know if she knew that, right? I really honestly don't. But I will say that, and also he was a bit of a sociopath con artist, and he had an Asian fetish because every woman he was with was Asian. But the funny thing is, when Kimora and him first started dating, Kimora was like, I could have sworn people said you had a wife, or like this was this, or this was that going on. And he was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, no, like before we start dating. So maybe Kimora didn't know, but she knows now, right? So before they started dating, Kimora was like, oh no, I really feel like you're with someone. And he was like, oh my God, like whatever it is, I just love you so much. I want to be with you. And she was like, all right, well then let me talk to your ex and make sure things are cool. So she started talking to the ex, except for the fact it was Tim. It was that little psychopath, Tim. Tim had made up fake numbers and fake email addresses, cosplaying his second wife. Kimora didn't even know about the first wife because everybody in society knew thought his second wife was his first wife. Mind you, he was married to the first and second at the same time. All right. Kimora was the third wife, right? Anyway, Kimora's like, well, let me talk to the girl that you said you've broken up. And the guy was like, all right. He made up fake numbers, fake this, that. Kimora was texting and emailing with this woman, trying to make sure that things were completely over between her and Tim. And come to find out, it was Tim's crazy ass the whole time that was texting her. Y'all, this is in court documents. It was Tim's self imitating his ex, telling Kimora the coast was clear, it's all cool, yada, 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 this, that, and the third. Tell me that man ain't a psycho. So when I read that, I said, you know what? Maybe we're being too hard on Kimora because ever since she told Khloe Kardashian, you got to let those girls know, I've always been like talking trash about her. But to be fair, Kimora is a great mom. She's obviously a savvy businesswoman. She's beautiful. And when I'm critical saying she surrounds herself with men that ain't ish, I'm beginning to think maybe all the men in the circle just ain't ish. It don't got anything to do with Kimora. It's just like if you were going to date, you're going to date. Now Kimora knows what her husband's been accused of, her fake husband has been accused of. But in the beginning, everybody just thought he was a billionaire. I'm sure Kimora was like, she's a tourist. She's like, oh, this will work. But this fool even made up fake emails saying, yeah, baby, we're done. We're done. Yo, it was crazy, right? It was crazy. In any case, y'all, let me read these super chats really quick and then we'll get into this. Heather Stanley said, Tisa, you are absolutely amazing. Angel Sesson said, I've been in the music industry 25 years with stories to tell. I love supporting you. Much love to you. Thank you, Angel Sessions. Email me. I'll be happy to share your stories anonymously, Trina Lewis, thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. Also, AB said, I'm ready to have a brain aneurysm. I almost dated one of them and he was embarrassed. I found him by doing a reverse image search super long ago. That's right. Once you date one of those people, you'd be like, oh no. And Leslie Lesser said, you've been doing great work. Oh my God, Leslie, thank you so much for blessing me. Thank you, everybody, for even staying in and just shooting the breeze with me at this good time of night. So here's the funny thing, right? Before we get into, oh my God, because it needs to be said, just because, okay, let's get back to the escort agency, right? Enough about Kimora. But I did a whole video about it if y'all want to hear some tea. I haven't read the federal court documents because the court documents were juicy. When I say they were juicy, they were juicy. However, you are going to have to go to the live to actually see the court documents because shortly after it started hitting mainstream, they went and got the court documents sealed. Okay, so let's continue. Mm. So I know what everybody's saying. But Tisa, how can you be so sure that something happened? Well, um, they asked a write up of this. They said, do the escorts sometimes have blank with the clients? The owner insists, right, that we could just as easily ask if a pizza man delivery ever gets lucky when he delivers a sausage pizza to a woman. They strike up a liking for each other, and she invites him in for you know what. That isn't prostitution, is it? So when Diddy hires these people, he hires them just to spend time. Now, here's the issue with the escorts and why the escorts. So here's the thing I've heard with Diddy, and I stand 10 toes down with it upon information and belief. We know the people that actually filed in court. There's a lot of people that are more current, that are inside the statute of limitations, that are right now negotiating and wrestling with Diddy about either settlement or whatever else. There are so many people under the radar. See, here's the problem where people are like, I don't understand. It was a fair trade off. The escorts knew what they were doing, they were paid a fair price or price for what they did. And then that's it. You might have a point because at the end of the day, that's how they get out of the whole prostitute thing. They're hired to spend time and they say, listen, I'm hired to spend time. What you talking about? But if we like each other and the mood is right and we can do something, what's up? Let's do it. Let's do it. So that way, if they walk into Diddy's house and they sign, this is really important, you guys. Let me just get through this. They walk into Diddy's house because this actually happened, right? If they walk into Diddy's house and they sign an NDA being like, okay, I'll never talk about this and that, technically, the fact that they were just paid for company and they chose to do the deed, you know what I'm saying? They chose to do the deed. That is saying that it was consensual, no laws were broken. You can pay someone to spend their time. You just can't pay somebody to open their legs. Okay. Y'all get what I'm saying. But the funny thing about that is that what makes those and if that's actually what happened, there would be no problem. There would be no issue. They wouldn't have a case. These were the services. You fulfilled your services. You decided to sleep with me on the side. No fuss, no muss. But y'all, if you read Cassie's complaint, and if you just put two and two together, and based upon information and delete and belief, the workers are either in negotiations or I don't think they filed in court yet. Absolutely not. But they're in negotiations because what did he do? If you believe any of this stuff. But what would you think Diddy did? If you would suggest be an MF and creep, you would be right. Because remember, Cassie said that he made sure that everybody during these freak offs had copious amounts of alcohol and drugs. So even though when they walked in and they signed the NDAs and they thought they had their back covered, right? The fact that people became inebriated, the fact that people did not know what they were doing, the fact that you were pushing, it literally voids consent. You cannot consent to any type of activity if somebody has been put under the influence, especially if you are supplying it. That's where Diddy messed up. That's where it went wrong because they thought they were so slick. Okay. But let's get some more into this because this is good. Okay. Now, here's the funny thing about where this place started. The former male model who works under the assumed name tells us that this website, Cowboys for Angels, was populated at first with bogus bios for fake men, and he lied pretty much about everything. Okay. When he started to get it, this is the funny thing. And get this, the Tyra Banks show first asked him to come on the show. But they're saying that's what jump started the website, his career, his website, and how he got on the radar of the elite. He says by the time the Tyra Banks show aired, he made it all real by assembling an arm of 25 men in 5 different cities, establishing what he claims is the first male escort service exclusively for women and couples. Okay. Again, they served as consultants for the Showtime's Gigolo reality series. Da, 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 da. Anyway, You guys, there's one more article I wanted to read you guys. It was actually really good. But okay, sorry about that. Anyway, the whole point of the matter is this, y'all. This agency is the same agency that was around when Cassie was around. This is the same catalog that Cassie and Diddy would go through. This is the same everything that everybody would use. Now ask yourself, how many people do you think? And the only thing is, right? Again, the way this is set up, it's not the fact that Diddy was ordering from an agency, because, like the head of the agency says, they're just paid to talk. If they want to give me one margarita, I'm going to open my legs. Give me 2 margaritas. I'm going to give me 3 margaritas. I'm going to put it up. Give me 4 margaritas, right? The fact that they are on some give me margarita stuff, right? It really lets you know that Diddy screwed his own self over by his own voracious appetite to really have people inebriated, zonked out, pushing people to their limits. Because had he just took what he had paid for, there really wouldn't be anything illegal, and the NDAs still could be there. So at the end of the day, every single time, even in the freak offs, right? Diddy only has himself to blame over and over and over. He truly is the architect of his discretion, right? Now, here's the thing. You make an interesting point. Hold on. Melina said, child, I'd holler when you say that fool fighting for his life, his freedom, his country. Keep it up, boo. Thank you, Melina, North Carolina. Interesting question. Live from New York City said, did the escorts know Cassie was drugged? Okay. Here's the thing about what the escorts knew. And I think it's important. You bring up a really, really good question. Okay. And also, when you're saying, how about they find out? This fool was even on ABC. He's been on a Tyra Banks show. He's been on TV all over the place promoting this agency. So, baby, that's how they actually found out. So did they know that Cassie was drugged? I believe, based on the evidence and based upon information and belief, based off of the court documents and my source, yeah, they did. Because the thing is, it's not like they were like sneaking it in the bathroom. Okay. He had them laid out. The alcohol, that he had everything laid out. It literally was on some Sodom and Gomorrah. Have more, have more, have more. That's the way Diddy preferred Cassie. That's the way he preferred everybody in the freak off for them to lose control. So they weren't hidden. They were around just like party favors. You feel what I'm saying? They were around like party favors. So again, there's a difference in being deed, right? And being deed to the point that you cannot give consent. Puffy, according to Cassie in the documents and also people that know him, he liked people being deed to the point that they could not give consent. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Let me jump into this chat, right? They knew because they saw it, right? Because they saw it. Again, these were party favors floating around. Again, you guys, this is based upon information and belief. All items are alleged. They have not been independently verified via Diddy or his groups, and this has not been proven in a court of law. And Diddy does maintain that this is innocence. However, he never actually addressed whether, and this is the most important thing, he never actually addressed whether any of this was true. Let's also not forget that Harvey Pierre is being accused of this. Let's also not forget that the people that accuse Harvey and Pierre of doing this, some of them had not seen their 18th birthday yet. Let me say it like that. This goes deep and it's pretty dark and it's pretty disgusting, right? But let's look at what the guy at one of their top people at Cowboy and Angels had to say, right? They said women log onto Cowboys for Angels and purchase the man that looks appetizing to them. Does that not sound like what Cassie did? One of the busiest male escorts in South Florida. Shout out to Miami-Dade County. Shout out to Diddy and Cassie in Miami. Again, this agency would bring any city you want. They said one of the busiest male escorts in South Florida is Tommy of Cowboys and Angels, who says, I love making women happy. He makes some of them so happy they come back for more. Just let you know, I think one of the reasons that they put the premier male straight agency is not because they're trying to tell people we're not into that. We don't swing that way. No, no, no. It's because I did a little reading and research. I hope the government never looks at my search engine because, oh, I'm going to jail. If they ever go, they'll be like, what is this girl up to? Literally. Um, they'll be like, what is Cowboys for Angels? A recipe to make a butter candle, vegan squash spaghetti, Portia Williams and Cassie all have to do literally. That's what my search engine they went through. They'd be like, what in the world? But apparently, for men that are DL or even some men that are gay, when they pay an escort, the escorts, even if they do prefer men, the ones that act straight, get paid more and higher in demand. And when I say act straight, I don't mean their mannerisms. I mean that they're marketed as, we don't like that. We're straight. Ew, get out of here. Because it is a fantasy for a straight man to come and deflower their girl. And then while they're deflowering, they get up and start joining the mix. And let's just assume, I don't know if this is what happened with Cassie and Diddy, but let's just assume Diddy's the guy watching. When they're alert and at attention, then he goes over and tries to seduce again, this is hypothetical, tries to seduce the straight male escort. And from that straight male escort, and from that, right? From that, they go. So it's kind of like a weird, not weird, I don't want to say that, but it's a kink that they feel like they want to deflower a straight man. But at the same time, if they're with a straight man, then it's just an act. I don't know. There's a lot of psychological stuff going in there. I don't feel like going through it. I'm still trying to figure out why Diddy's mama got white fingernails and getting IVs with them. And Diddy advertising the fact that his mama can hit both hands down on the ground flat. Take that. And he's zooming in on her white fingernails. I'm still trying to figure out that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, right? So, interestingly enough, when we get into that, right? So this is really just petty, and I'm never going to stand by this, but allegedly when Diddy joined in, well, let's just say this, he is a very powerful man that was powerful, and he likes to be in ultimate control. He likes to be on top, but not when it comes to those escorts. Not when it comes to the not when it comes to those escorts. Word on the curve is, and again, it's just me talking trash. This is art. This is artistic interpretation. This is art, you guys. This is the stand-up comedy. But I've heard that out of the Combs family, Mama Combs ain't the only one that like to try to put both hands down on the floor, flat. Pow, 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 pow. If you get what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, right? So that's all I'm saying. But let's get back into this young man's gripping, harrowing journey, right? And when I say gripping, I mean gripping. Hey, Delilah the cat said, love the tea, rich and creamy. I know that's right. Thank you so much, Delilah cat. Okay, so let's get into this. Hold on. So the escort says, I love to make women happy. He makes some of them so happy they come back for more. Sometimes I've seen the same woman 4 or 5 nights in a row. Garen James, a former model, founded the male escort service company based in Fort Lauderdale 5 years ago. I believe this article was actually written in 2013. He's then expanded to 6 cities, including Los Angeles, New York, Las Vegas, with 40 full-time escorts. Again, this was a long time ago. He now has about 165. Services can range from a weekend cruise to dinner and drinks. James said women can rent him for $500 an hour or for $5,000 for the weekend. Again, Cassie did say Diddy paid thousands of dollars to the escorts in cash. They said that the company sells companionship. It denies it sells sex. Tommy, who has a girlfriend, admitted he's had blank with some of his clients. Two consenting adults, when they're spending a lot of time with each other, things happen. I'm sure it happens. I can't confirm or deny that, but I can say that it's not something that we legally sell. He also works as a consultant on the reality show Gigolos. It seems like it's more for a woman who's younger and who makes a lot of money and who's very busy and who travels a lot. Sounds like Cassie, doesn't it? Y'all, sounds like Cassie. I'm just saying, but y'all, all jokes aside, right? Um, yeah, 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 yeah. Y'all, I did this myself. Listen, I have it based upon information and belief that this is 100% the agency. Again, thank you for finding this lawsuit that was buried. Court documents were sealed with the settlement. However, even in the documents, what the media missed and what they didn't talk about is the fact that he literally had a woman that he was paying 150 a week to make his food. I would have been scared to eat that food. How are you a multimillionaire? You paying somebody 150 a week and half the time you don't want to pay them. And she would not only have to serve him when he was in the nude, but she would have to walk over and serve while they were in the middle of freak offs. It says it right then. The ish was going down, and he would call her in and be like, "Yo, you like my body? You like my body?" And then when she was hiding in the kitchen, when she was hiding in the kitchen, okay, when she was hiding in the kitchen, he would come in, right? People would come in and try to entice her to actually do the freak offs. Y'all, listen, you cannot make this up. But when people ask, did it happen? What happened? When it happened? You can honestly not make it up. Y'all, listen, you got to tell me, what do y'all think about this? Honestly, what do you think about it? I think it sounds like lunacy. I think it sounds like nonsense. I think it sounds weird because the one thing is, you might be asking, why did he hire escorts? I think at a certain point, his carnal desires had grown so much. Let's also not forget that around this time, Wendy Williams was on TV. And around this time, Wendy Williams was she outing Diddy? That's what it was. Around this time, Diddy and Cassie had just started doing things. And it seems like, and this is just like word on the curve from like Diddy's elite friends, right? Diddy had gotten a taste for all that mess. Okay. And when he first started, he was just bringing randoms in. But people said that he got a taste for all this mess. And they're the ones that actually taught him that you need to start getting people to sign NDAs. As a matter of fact, people said that he actually got in trouble with people. And that's how he even got into the habit of signing NDAs. What's the point of getting someone, promising somebody a record contract, doing this, doing that, when you can just say, ring a ding ding. Yes, I'll take number 1, 8, and what'd you say, babe? And 2 number 14s, the twin package. That's how he got. People are saying that when he was in Florida, that's when he learned to start using those agencies, because as long as it's consensual and you sign an NDA, people can't talk. The only issue is, Diddy, when you give them copious amounts of stuff, people can and absolutely will talk. They can and absolutely will talk. So let me jump into the chat and see what y'all think. Hold on. Let's jump in. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Harvey Pierre is a funny looking mofo. That whole you know what? I don't want to talk about anybody because, like, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. There are a lot of people that will see me and be like, bitch, you ain't nothing, right? So beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But there used to be the time where you looked at what was going on with West Coast, right? You got Snoop, you got Dr. Dre, You got Tupac, you got Daz, you got Ice Cube, you got Exhibit, even Suge Knight. Again, not my speed out. Like Suge Knight, no, it's the other stuff. You might not wake up in the morning, but Suge Knight also. Now you compare West Coast, and then you went over to Bad Boy, where they had Craig Mack. Black Rob was okay, no lie. They had, but so take Black Rob out of this. But you had Craig Mack, you had Biggie, you had Diddy. You know something was wrong on the East Coast where Diddy was the best looking one out the whole crew. You got Diddy, you got Harvey Pierre. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got right? You know, Bad Boy was never known. They were never known to be the pretty boys. That's all I'm saying. They were never. If you wanted looks, if you wanted talent, if you wanted chef kiss, you would have to go over to West Coast. I'm just saying. Bad Boy was not known for his looks. You got Biggie. I know y'all fan of his music. But did anybody ever look at a picture of Biggie? And I'm not talking about anybody's looks, because Biggie actually, if he was alive right now, this mofo would be caught up in this Me Too movement too. Yo, I went digging into the blog archives, the word on the street, the way he treated Little Kim, the way he treated Faith Evans, the way he treated Charlie Baltimore. He beat people bad. And imagine that mofo with, how much did he weigh? 380 pounds of pure momentum behind or whatever. He was into Diddy bopping. He was into H-Town stomping girls. And on top of that, he was giving people GGs. He was walking around like the king of the leopards, just spreading that stuff. Ooh, touched by an angel, except it's a demon-born virus. Do you see what I'm saying? So if actually I thought about it, if Diddy was, I'm not Diddy, if Biggie was here, he'd probably be caught up too, because the stuff he did to women, which makes me think that the whole Bad Boy clique, crew, record label was into some really, really dark stuff. Mark Curry, was he on there? I don't know. Mark Curry was okay. Mark Curry was okay. Black Rob was okay. But everybody else, you know something was up, right? You know something was up when a group of guys walk into a party and Diddy's the best looking one. It's like somebody being like, you got to choose one. And they walk in and you like, oh, God, right? And Diddy come and you're like, well, at least he got shape up. At least he dressed okay. Can you just tell him to take that toothpick out of his mouth and close his mouth? God, I can smell his breath from over here. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing you look and you be like, well, at least he dresses all right and he got to shape up. I guess him, right? So I'm just saying. Listen, I'm just saying. Listen, all I gotta say is LL Cool J. You know what? The fact is, I don't know. I think I missed that whole LL Cool J thing, because when I grew up, I was like, what? I've been looking at my older cousins like LL Cool J and him licking his lips and stuff. Just not my thing. Just not my thing. Woo! It's just not my thing. You got Mace. Like, no disrespect to the pastor, but I don't know. No disrespect to the pastor, but I don't know. Listen. Wait, what'd you say? Who's that? Black Rob, Mark Curry was like, whoa. You know what? Whoa, H-Town. It's like, whoa. Da-na-na-na. Yo, remember how Diddy did Black Rob so MF and dirty? I remember that. Black Rob was dying. I think he was dying of cancer, whatever it was bad. He was dying. I found this in old blogs archives too. He was dying, literally dying. And he literally had some of the biggest songs on the radios that time. He should have had more than enough money. Black Rob was penniless. His family was always trying to get Diddy like, yo, can you give some money? Actually, let me put some respect on his name and find out what he passed away from, because it was actually really sad. What did Black Rob pass away from? Hold on. Pass away from. Yeah, this is sad. So listen, he died from cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest just means your heart stops working. They said later life and death. Towards the end of his life, Black Rob, who had made Diddy tens of millions of dollars, he struggled with homelessness and health issues. A GoFundMe page was created to help him find a home and to pay for medical health. Over the last 5 years of his life, he suffered 4 strokes. On April 17, 2021, Black Rob died of cardiac arrest at age 52. Now, here's the crazy part, right? You know what's crazy? Craig Mack. He died from heart failure also. Mm. Now, Black Rob, whose real name was Robert Ross, he was one of the biggest artists back there. He made Diddy tens of millions of dollars. So did Craig Mack. Black Rob died penniless, not because he burned through his money, but because Diddy was giving him like pennies. And then once he couldn't make him money anymore, he even stopped giving him pennies. He basically didn't even give him a livable wage. The family and everybody was begging for money for Black Rob to find a home and for his healthcare costs. Diddy didn't even donate to the GoFundMe. Diddy didn't do anything. A lot of people, this is what the streets were saying, a lot of people criticized Diddy like, yo, you cold-blooded, like you a thief. By that time, everybody in New York had the opinion that Diddy just sold from his artists. That's another reason why Bad Boy started to fall after the making of the band, right? After making of the band, word spread all over that Diddy was one of the most predatory, even though it was a black owned label, he was one of the most predatory people in the music industry. Hell, you could even go over to Suge Knight, Death Row, and get a better deal. You could go over to Def MF and Row and get a better deal. Okay. So you can go to Death Row and you can get a better deal. But the thing is, right? So everybody was asking Diddy, like, yo, how come you won't actually go and see what's up with like Black Rob? Nothing. The family was so mad. His daughter was, everybody's just mad, right? Which they should have been, because that's greed. But it's also, you don't give a F about anybody but yourself. This is all my opinion. Get this. Remember how, what's his name? Roger Bonds was like, yo, Diddy, Cassie fought with Diddy too. That's what I saw and all this other stuff. Clearly, to me, it looks like Roger's been paid off. Here's the crazy part. At Black Rob's funeral, Diddy actually showed up. And everybody, including the family, was looking at him like real strange, like, what the F you doing here? You could have prevented some of this. You could have made the end of his life easier. You could have did so much and you ain't do nothing. But you show up at this funeral, what you doing here? But out of respect, because it's a funeral, you don't want to knuck up and get ready, like you're not ready for it, the knuckle up, right? So you're like, you know what? They were like, you know what? Let's just let this slide. Why is it that at Black Rob's funeral, some flunky that Diddy probably threw $10 got up while everybody was saying like really sweet things, when they're doing the remembrance, saying really sweet things about that person, all this other stuff. He takes the podium and everybody is sitting there overcome with tears. Nobody can talk. And this flunky that's on Diddy's payroll was like, hey, yo, I just want to say one thing, right? Y'all need to leave my man Puff alone. This is at Black Rob's funeral. A lot of y'all sitting there whispering this, but y'all don't know what Puff did for Rob. Y'all don't know what Puff did for Rob undercover. There's so many ways he helped him, but y'all ain't know. So y'all need to show this man some respect. You mean to tell me that at Black Rob's funeral, while everybody's crying, this flunky, because that's what we're going to call him, the only thing he could think to do was to stand up and defend Diddy on whether he actually helped and did a lot of things for homeless and destitute and dying from a a fatal illness, Black Rob. This man was homeless with a GoFundMe, and you got your flunky up there being like, Diddy did a lot. Diddy did a lot. That's the first time I was like, yo, is Diddy crazy? Why? Like, why would this flunky do this? But now I see Diddy put it up there, y'all. Right? Last thing I want to say, y'all heard these rumors that in the room with the freak offs, somebody named TD Jakes might have been in there. Y'all heard those rumors that's going around about the good Reverend? Y'all heard those rumors? Y'all heard those rumors about the good Reverend and Tyler Perry? Now, what we really need to find out was Tyler Perry ever at Diddy's house? But then again, Tyler's the billionaire. Was Diddy ever at Tyler's house? They probably not each other's type. I'm not saying it happened, but if it did, I don't think they each other's types, right? Two crazy people can't be together. We all know that. But yeah, Diddy was nasty work what he did to Black Rob. He has literally, I really honestly do think this is Diddy's karma. The funny thing is, people be talking about karma. Oh, you gonna get your karma. Shut the hell up. This is light work, no reaction, right? Diddy, though, yo, that man, if everything that's said is true, if 1/8 is 1/5, if 1/11, if 1/billion of what is being said is true, Diddy, yeah, he is getting his karma because the way he treated people, what he did, there just ain't no way. There just ain't no way. You know what? I am starting to look at that whole crowd differently. I'm starting to look at the Oprah crowd differently, especially Tyler Perry. I'm looking at him real differently, even though I am waiting for what's his dude's name? I'm waiting for Christian Keys to drop the bomb on. We waiting for Christian Keys. And I hope that he actually does. I hope Christian Keys actually does decide to press charges, but he's gone quiet. So I don't know. Maybe there is a settlement or movement in the background. I don't know. At the end of the day, I can't judge him. He went through the trauma. It was his life. I can't judge him. Whatever he wants to do and whatever he needs to do to be in peace, do it, right? That's what happens with trauma. It's not my place to stay. I hope it doesn't pay him off either, but at the end of the day, Tyler Perry is powerful. Look at the way people are in the comment section on Instagram and Twitter calling him a liar. It can't possibly be. Let me tell y'all something. Like my parents said, you don't put anything past anybody. You don't put anything past anybody, especially when it comes to this. Baby, just because you didn't R-word me doesn't mean you ain't R-word the neighbor. I'm going to need more proof. When it comes to this type of stuff, as much as it sucks, baby, I got to protect myself. You are guilty until proven innocent. And I think that's the way it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you know what it is. You know what it is. Anyway, y'all, listen, the church folks, listen, who's saying this? Green Latin says, got Travis Scott and Chris Brown. Yo, what's going on with Travis Scott? I'm going to do a video about Travis Scott. What is going on with Travis Scott? Yo, a Pisces lady said the church folk love Reverend TD Jakes. They do, but how can I say this without offending church people? Somebody said, nah, he's too low down for that. How can I say this without offending church people? Because here's the thing, as you guys can see, of course I'm religious, but I don't really believe in organized religion because I feel like anytime that you give a human that much power, I feel like I don't think power corrupts, but I do think that the corrupt are drawn to jobs that give them power. Do you see what I'm saying? And the money and the power lets them fester. Like, what's going on? Y'all see what I'm saying, right? Somebody said got him on tape. Hold on, Chris Brown. Listen, Chris Brown. Yeah. So how can I say this? Don't get mad if you in the church, but I find it's not just the church. I find every organization, whether it's religious, secular, whatever, or even private, every place where there are things of power, whether it be like the head of McDonald's, Microsoft, whether it be whatever, I often find that they defile things and they ignore things. And I don't know what it is particularly about the church. I don't. But in organized religion, whether it be the church, synagogue, the mosque, whatever, I feel like, not always, but I feel like when things like that happen, everybody looked the other way. Everybody looked, because at the end of the day, their fantasy that that man is leading them closer to God, that that man is helping them find heaven on earth, that that man will help deliver them to the good word of the Lord, they are willing. And when I say they, it's a small instance, but we got to talk about this. It's in every religion, every culture, every place that power is held. They are willing to sacrifice their young and their weak. And when I say weak, I don't mean fear. I just mean like very young minded, in order for this fantasy. And that scares me, when you'll even sacrifice the young for a fantasy that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And they will fight tooth and nail to keep that fantasy, even sometimes when it's their own children being like, yo, they'll fight their own children to keep that weird fantasy. It's weird. It's just weird. Listen, exactly. This is exactly how I feel. Anyone can be turned to the evil. I actually don't think that's true. But I do think that in places of power, and the church is one of them, evil people are drawn to that. It's like a beacon. They see that power. See, normal people go to church, the mosque, the synagogue. They feel like, wow, I found my community, and like, oh my God, it's so love. It's this, is that. They love it. They love it. Because, right, without the evilness, it's lit. A bunch of people believe what you think is a family, it's friends, it's all this stuff, social life, everything. But I think where everybody else sees peace and family and home and stability, people that are evil, that are drawn to power, see it as a beacon. Come over here. You can control people. You can rule people. You're so powerful. You can do what you want. That's what they see. So they're drawn to these organizations. And then because they don't give a F about anyone but themselves, and their emotions aren't real, they're able to navigate that environment and rise to the top. And before you know it, they're running everything, all because they had an agenda. It wasn't coming out of the kindness of the heart. That's how I feel about the church, right? You said, unfortunately, the church is a big place because it's supposed to bring folks to God and be a safe haven. But it's like any institution against others. I agree. And that's why I don't want to single out the church, because I find every religious organization and every corporate organization, anytime there's money and or power involved, that's what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Exactly. Just like being in the government, that power, again, I don't think it turns them evil. I think they were already evil and it amplified it. It amplified it. Again, the same way Pedialyte bears are attracted to being daycare workers or gym teachers. It's the same way people that want to control and rule over others to a point of perversion, they're attracted to those jobs because they see it as an end to get the power they need and crave in order to subjugate people, you know? Yeah, exactly. Somebody says the working class, the working class runs this country. The working class has to change the way that. Exactly. It does. It does. It does. It does. It does. It is. Yeah, I agree with that. That's one reason why I don't go to organized religion, because I do believe that the church, the synagogue, it doesn't matter. It should be held to a higher standard, right? Because we're dealing with Jesus and God. Yeah, I get it. But again, I feel like the people that are at the head, most of them that run most churches, regardless of denomination or faith, I feel that there is no Jesus and God there. I think that there's a bunch of false prophets, and I believe the people are being misled and led astray by many, many, many false prophets. That's just my opinion. Anyway, y'all, enough of my opinion. I'm going to go get some sleep. I hope you enjoyed discovering the little Blues Clues episode. Baby, you can take this for the bank. Tomorrow night, I'm going to come on earlier, but I got some I know. I wanted to get to it tonight, but I'm actually fading. I have some information. I'll get to it tomorrow night. Or if you guys want, I'll wake up tomorrow and check the comments. Let me know if you guys want me to drop a video. Instead of going live tomorrow night, let me know if you guys just want me to drop a video, because I can just start dropping videos, and videos will be like a little bit shorter. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's right. I only fear the Most High too. That's all I fear, right? That's all I fear. Exactly. Listen, who was poison? Drop a video. Okay. I can do that. I can do that. Somebody said video or live is fine. Um TG Jakes, take that, Jakes. Wanda said, I enjoyed the live. Okay. Take a break. I ain't doing that. Gata said, I enjoy both. Okay, we'll do that. Yep. Exactly. Well, that's another thing. Religion was forced upon our people during the horrific times of slavery, because if you think about it, we already had our own ancestors and our own spirits protecting us before we came over here on the slave trade. And then they told us that the only thing that gave us sanity, that linked us back to the homeland, that gave us savior and grace, our traditions, our ancestors and whatever, they outlawed that, beat it out of us, and then said we had to accept the Christian God. But the Christian God, oddly enough, the part that they told us said, no, it's okay to suffer and let evil reign, because you'll find your redemption in heaven. Man, get the F out of here. God wants us to have our heaven now, then, there, forever. Forever. But anyway, we're not going to get into slavery, religion, and all that other stuff. I'm just saying. Anyway, y'all, I'll talk to y'all later. Talk to y'all later. Bye.